Left from the Trump talk, tax cuts, Texas Senate race, and gender. The Trump administration officials are considering legally defining gender as somebody's biological sex at birth, a move that could roll back civil rights protections for transgender Americans. That's according to the reporting of multiple news agencies, including the New York Times. It reports a draft of a memo from the Department of Health and Human Services argues that government agencies need a uniform definition of gender. According to the Times, the memo reads in parts, sex means a person's status as male or female based on immutable biological traits identifiable by or before birth. The sex listed on a person's birth certificate as originally issued shall constitute definitive proof of a person's sex unless rebutted by reliable genetic evidence. A 2016 study out of UCLA estimated about 1.4 million Americans identify as transgender. The Fox Business Network's Blake Berman is live at the White House. Blake?
Hi there, Shepard. I should know right off the top here, we reached out to Health and Human Services, a spokesperson earlier today. They would not comment on this draft document that the New York Times reports about, but we just heard from President Trump here on the South Lawn of the White House a little while ago, and he said, relating to this New York Times story, that it is something that they are looking at and taking seriously. In any event, this document that the New York Times reports on says that HHS is looking at the definition of sex under Chapter 9 protections and whether or not sex should be defined as how one is born or how one identifies themselves. This was the president moments ago. Watch.
I'm protecting everybody. You know what I'm doing? I'm protecting everybody. I want to protect our country.
Reaction from the Human Rights Campaign is, as you would expect, Shepard, they call this a dangerous, or destructive precedent, rather, that the administration would be engaging in. They say, quote, the Trump-Pence administration intends to erase LGBTQ people from federal civil rights protections and eviscerate enforcement of non-discrimination laws defining sex in this narrow language tailored to the talking points of anti-equality extremists as part of a deliberative strategy to eliminate federal protections for LGBTQ people. There has been nationwide concern surrounding this, Shepard, as well. The hashtag won't be erased has been trending on Twitter.
Yep, watching the protests or demonstration there in Washington today.
Yep.
Blake, thanks.
You got it.